Has this been a good show or?
I think it's been a fantastic show. Yeah, it's been brilliant.
I don't really have a very objective standpoint.
Yeah,
it seems to me that it's been a nice little inner tube ride with like a 6-pack of Mountain Dew.
I'm telling you, I was so comfortable.
I got nothing. ISIS. Tomorrow, let's talk about ISIS.
What does ISIS stand for? What?
We looked this up.
What? Look this.
Those are the easy words. The
well,
harder
I don't
ones are the
know.
other one.
What is it?
Iraq and Syria or Iraq and Levant, right? Is that what the ISIL is?
Yeah, that's why if you're on NPR, you call it ISIL because it's like really more like going Nicaragua.
Well, you're supposed to call it Daesh because it pisses them off.
Oh, really?
That's what they say.
Yeah.
They say they pledge to kill anyone who calls them Daesh.
Well, Jesus Christ!
Well, that's what Voldemort said too, and look what happened there.
Voldemort?
Yeah. He never existed.
Don't call me.
So.
Wait, so that was his idea? No, don't ever say my name. He seems more vain than
I
that.
don't know who came up with that.
I think everybody else.
Well,
was
don't
like,
do that. I mean, like you're just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some dickhead at the.
It's the Streisand effect.
Yeah.
That's what Voldemort died of.
Don't call me Streisand. Don't you dare call me Streisand. Do you call me Streisand? I'll put a hex on you. Don't call me Streisand. Don't you dare. If you call me Streisand, I'm gonna come down there with my cane and I'm gonna whack. Halfway through committing to that, I gave up.
Yeah.
It's not where you think it is.
Well, the alarming thing is, this is what I keep running through in my head now, is like how actually effective this. I mean, I don't even understand. As a 42-year-old, I grew up in a world where the concept of terrorism was like these Fisher-Price figures, and they got the outfits, and they're like one of their defining features is like no graphic design, no. I mean, these guys are like, these are kids now. These are millennial terrorists. Their videos are, very J.J. Abrams inspired. They like their little time rampings, and they know their way around Final Cut, and it's weird because it's for no other reason than it just like changes everything. And also, I think the other thing that makes them new is that whereas I think when I was a kid, what we called a terrorist was somebody that was kind of foolish enough to say, well, I'm gonna create this catastrophe, and it's gonna punish this country for doing this, and then they're gonna think twice before blah 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 and all that kind of thing, where it's just like, well, this is just gonna play out in a pretty predictable way. No one's ever gonna blah blah blah, and this is like their goal, as far as I understand it, their long-term larger goal is simply to provoke, simply to actually polarize. And I hope that was a real sneeze and not a good guy who's like, bullshit. What's your? But their goal is simply to polarize, right? This is not a conspiracy theory. I've heard this again and again. That it's like what they want and what they are so close to having, because they're a couple of blown up things away from this goal.
From polarizing
is for rational people, not just like paranoid jingoists, nut bars, like rational people to start getting so freaked out and scared that we just start to just figure the solution must be more irrational than rational. Because right now we still have this like this hold on this idea that as complicated as things are getting, like we have to make sure we compartmentalize in our heads that like this is a war between people that want to fight and people that don't want to fight. This is not a war between people that want to fight that have one flag and people. This is like the people that love fighting are trying to fucking cajole us into like a crazy fucking like weird form of World War III where it's just like where we just start doing crazy shit, which we've done in the past, which is like, all right, let's start rounding people up, and it's already been being proposed by our fringe elements. Like, let's start tracking things, let's start keeping lists, let's put you in I'm sure you're great. If you're not guilty, you have nothing to worry about, but why don't you stay in this chain link pen for a second? It's just about freedom, and that those people are not gonna fucking go in there and go, you know what, America's fantastic. And so is the entire Western world. And you know what sucks? My religion is why I'm locked up in this cage. That this cycle will create a shitter get off the pot showdown between people who of the Islamic faith, radical or not, and people from Western society, Westernized society, crazy or not. Like that even the moderate people will all just like be sucked into this horrible fucking nightmare, and that shit will hit the fan and spray all over all of us, and we'll have shit all over us. That's their goal. That's
shit on us.
That they're not dumb enough anymore to be like, we're gonna beat this country or that country. They're just like, no, fucking let's just. Like what Charles Manson thought he was trying to do by spray painting the N-word on on the wall where he killed people. It was like his idea was like this like long-term like destabilization thing. And doesn't it feel like they're getting really close to that goal? Like, I don't know how we're going to get further away from that goal. I don't know how we're going to get less scared if... I don't know how to relax more. I only know how to get increasingly more uptight and frightened and more like willing
like
to.
Any one of those groups is at that point right now. Because if you want to do that, then you simply have to do that. It's just if somebody wanted to scare the shit out of people and that was their sole goal, they could, for lack of a better idea, just load up a device or whatever. Go off to the highway somewhere, pull off the road, and set that off. That, without any explanation or any rational connection to it and no claim to it, would be the thing that would be the most terrifying to people.
Right.
So, but I think that these issues are multiphasic. There are so many different things that are at play. And specifically in this case, because fundamentalism is at the center of it, there is a core center, and there is a core center schedule for what's going on, but outside of that, it's where it reaches out from that core center. There are just a lot of different sort of sets of goals, and they're individual. They're individual in their own sort of way they're going to play out, and what those individual goals are. So certain things are happening, but they're happening in their own sort of arena. And also, we see on our end of it the packaged news version of it. Even now, when news is 24 hours a day and it's all over the place, you're being told you're getting breaking news. But again, depends on what you're reading and where you are and what the moment is and what the source is, how filtered or unfiltered or how breaking it is. But it's all packaged. So what you're not getting is, and this is probably a good thing, you're not getting a clear sense of what, for example, the extent of our interdiction is on this. One of the reasons it's just not running buck wild and going crazy is because the opposing force, the unified sort of interdiction on it, is strong. It's powerful. Intel and these forces that are sitting there grabbing information, closing down things, letting you know when they've stopped somebody, letting you know, sometimes not letting you know when they have because it's better for the longer goal. All that stuff is happening outside of your sight, unless they want you to see it. So what we're seeing, we are, by virtue of being audience to this, trying to attach a plot to it, trying to foresee an end game to it, trying to attach all these sort of narratives to it. But really what it is just this pulse-like movement of, let's probe in this case. There's a hole, let's go get that. There's a hole that hasn't been exploited, let's just wait Let's just wait. Let's just wait. Now let's do it. But all these things are coming out all at the same time. So I think that on the one hand, we are audience to this, and what we're reacting to, what the temperature of the water that we're feeling right now is real, but it's reactive to what we're being allowed to see, what we're being allowed to read. But what's really going on is much more detailed, much more specific, and it's happening in pulses. It's a very pointillistic thing. And in each one of those cases, there's a whole inventory of stuff that's happening. Outward incursions that are coming forward, whether they're quiet incursions or more aggressive incursions, and then also the reportage and interdiction that's going on around it. How much people actually know, unless you're in intelligence, it's really, 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 really unclear. And so this is why it is really important for people to see as much as they can, read as much as they can, and use these sort of general principles of critical thinking so you know what your sources are, what their biases may be, and getting multi-source information about one incident or one thing allows you to determine for yourself what you think the narrative is. Because for each person out there, there's a separate narrative of what is actually going on. I don't think that the sole goal is to scatter any sort of unified public certainty or confidence that we have.
You don't
this
think
under
there's
control.
at least with the core you talked about. You don't think at least that when they
I think
have
that's part of
their
it, yeah.
meetings that they go like, no, big picture. Because I mean,
I do think that's part of it. But I think that there are other within that. I think there are other more specifically defined measures and goals, and there are things that are targeted specifically.
I mean, it's great. I mean, yeah, it's certainly I mean, listen, Fraser. All I want to know is where the bad guys are. Bang, bang, bang. No. I like that advice from what I called of it is like, yeah, be smart and like understand that even the internet is mostly garbage, and that everything is a narrative and everything's being assembled and pre-processed, and that I think maybe not to put words in your mouth, but like maybe I just did a little diatribe about how the bad guys want everybody to hate each other, and like maybe adding to that also, we're getting our news from good guys that don't necessarily lose money from us hating each other. So it kind of compounds that. It's this country needs nothing more right now than a nice, solid, clean enemy with a logo. Like and you know they're stepping up, and we're going like, I'll take the number 5 with cheese.
You look at like a good example is like I can't think of the guy's name, but the former KGB agent who was radiated.
Radiated.
That means he hasn't been listening for 20 minutes. That's what he does. He picks one word.
I'm just looking at
he puts his glasses down.
I was looking at the text that you've been sending me over the last.
Oh, come on.
All right. Hey, you home? Yeah, give me a bit. Got to tend to some cat. Schraubing over. No, wait, bro. Come at 6:30, bro. You fucking idiot.
It wasn't even clear who was saying what.
You were calling me a fucking idiot.
You were coming over a half hour early.
You didn't specify. No, you were saying schraubing over.
There's a geopolitical tinderbox underneath us right now.
I'm sorry.
A powder keg.
You guys could be talking about the Packers. I don't know. My brain, social
it can only
studies.
hold. It's got 3 cartoons and a David Carradine movie in it.
I'm definitely the Gargamel in this situation. I can't. But I only have. My bucket is only so big. Spencer disappeared. He just evaporated. He went away. He's
Spencer
gone.
left.
You're not making fun of him. He gets a bye. I don't get a bye. I'm a fucking idiot because I came over a half hour early. September 21st.
I mean, the truth. I remember that day. I had just gotten home and I was about to masturbate.
Dude, we have an agreement.
And you're
I'll
like
wait
schraubing
outside.
over, and I'm like schraubing over. My
That doesn't mean you have to come downstairs. I get it. How many I get it, dude.
I can't come that way. I tell like, sorry, no, I got it, buddy. I'm just down here. Take your time.
I'll go to the grocery store.
What a good friend. So understanding. Oh!
When we lived together on Norton, it was like that. It was.
I was younger. Nothing could stop this.
Right.
Now it's like
that's
fucking,
true. That's
Fox
true.
News can put me out for a week.
Right. That's true. So ISIS is pronounced how?
Daesh,
Daesh.
I think.
But if you
Daesh.
say it, Candyman comes and kills you. That's what it's. All
right. Okay.
I mean, I don't know, but we're not supposed to be scared, right? Okay, we're not scared. Everybody go shopping. That's how you beat them. Go shopping. Love your way of life. That's what they hate.
I'm doing okay.
Your way of life.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm happy. I'm doing. These are my salad days, man.